Okay, so just like any normal geography lesson, we always start with recapping some stuff that we've already done because geography, there is so much content and so much learning to do. It's always good to remember what we did last term. So I would like you to get a little notebook and I'd like you to write 1 to 4 at the moment, and I'd like you to try and answer some of these quiz questions. Okay, so what is the capital of England? What is the capital of England? Number 2, what is the capital of Wales? So these are all parts of the United Kingdom. What is the capital of Scotland? And I'm hoping that you'll know what my last question is going to be. What is the capital of Ireland? Now remember, you can always pause the video. If I'm going quite quickly, you can always pause it to write down your notes. Okay. That's our first set of questions, and then I've got another set of questions, and then we'll mark it through together. Remember, if you want to pause it to write down your answer, you could do that. Sorry, that's my formatting. Oh, these are the questions. Actually, I've forgotten the order of my slides. We'll do the answers first for this one. So the capital of England is London. I'm hoping that lots of you got that one. The capital of Wales is Cardiff. The capital of Scotland is Edinburgh. And the capital of Ireland is Dublin. Hopefully everyone got that one too. Okay, this is our second set of questions. What are the 7 continents of the world? So remember, continents is our largest land mass. What is the Ordnance Survey symbol for a nature reserve? It's a little blue animal for a clue. What colour road is a motorway? On an Ordnance Survey map, what colour is a motorway? On an Ordnance Survey map, what type of line is a footpath? So I need the colour and the type of line it is. These are much more tricky ones. What are the 8 compass points? We did do this one as well. Okay, here are, last question. What is a photograph called when it's taken from above? I know that Poplar class did this. So when you've got a little drone and it takes a picture, what sort of photograph is it called? It begins with an A. An A. Okay, here are the answers. For some reason, my formatting. Number 9. Okay, the 7 continents of the world are Europe, Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, and Australia. What is the Ordnance Survey symbol for a nature reserve? It's a little duckling. Remember, we saw that on Willen Lake, on the maps on Willen Lake. What colour road is a motorway? Oh, I haven't got a picture for that. That's the answer to the next question. But it's blue. It's a big blue line. And then the green dotted was the colour for a footpath. It's this one there. What are the 8 compass points? There's a little picture, which I'm probably in the way of. It's north, northeast, east, southeast, south, southwest, west, northwest, and north. Lots of you have lots of different ways of remembering that. Okay, and the last one, it was an aerial photograph. I have a feeling that I haven't spelled that correctly, but it's an aerial photograph. Right, on to our lesson. I'm going to move quite swift. So I just want to recap some of the world geography that we may have been taught in another year. So as part of our world, we have a line in the middle. Now I'm hoping that lots of you already know and can already read that this line is called the equator. This line of the equator means that any country that is near this line means that it's very, very hot. Okay, it's a very hot country if you're near the equator. The further away you get from the equator, you get very, very cold. So we've got the North Pole and the South Pole. So we've got our equator line. We've also got these two lines here, which are quite important, which are called the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. They're just another way of splitting up our globe. Okay, hopefully you've already spotted us and Europe, the continent that we're in, and this is us just here. Okay, now I know that some of you did some work on some counties. If you can, pause the video and see if you can remember any counties. Remember, those aren't countries, these are counties. So we in Milton Keynes live in Buckinghamshire. Remember, a lot of them end in shire. See how many you can come up with. Pause the video. All right. So here are all of our counties in England. So we are just here. We are in Buckinghamshire. Okay. It says Milton Keynes is a different county there, but we are part of Buckinghamshire. We've got Bedfordshire, Hertfordshire, Oxfordshire, and Warwickshire that surround us. We've also got Northamptonshire just above us. Some of you might have written ones like East Sussex and West Sussex. They're quite popular ones. Cornwall and Devon are our big counties down in the south east. And then when we go right up north, we've got Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire, Staffordshire. Remember, some of our counties all end in shire, S-H-I-R-E. Okay, so today's learning is about how land is used in the UK. So before that we start looking at any more land, we need to look at the land in the UK. How is that used? So we are an island. We are surrounded by water, which means that actually we don't have a lot of space. When you look at, if we go back to our world map, when you look at a country like Russia or you look at the United States, they have so much land that they use. Whereas us, we are very, very small, which means that we have to use our land really, really wisely. So I've put some pictures together about how we use our land. So hopefully we know that by seeing the tractor, a lot of our land in the UK is used for farming, so to provide us with food, fruits and vegetables. We get a lot of it from abroad, but we also farm a lot of our food, like strawberries and potatoes. We do lots of those ones in the particular seasons. We also use our land for mining. So we mine for different sorts of rocks and materials. We might also use our land for electricity. A lot of land now is used for wind turbines to produce electricity. If I just move my fist. A lot of land is used for the city, is used in built up areas. This is called an urban area. It might be also that we use our land for nature reserves. So if you like walking in the countryside, we might use it for nature. Here are some of the different ways where land is used. Housing, healthcare, so like hospitals and doctors. Factories, we have a lot of factories where we make things, like we make clothes and bags and shoes. We might have some factories. We also have a lot of places where they distribute things as well. If you go to, if you drive along parts of Milton Keynes, you see these great big blue warehouses. Okay, and that's how a lot of our land is used as well. Education, schools, we need to use land for our schools. Farming and retail. What's retail? That's a new word. Retail is a bit like shops. So we might have some space for different sorts of shops. And then also we've got lots of roads and motorways, different sorts of roads as well, which we looked at a bit previously. Okay. So even though we live in a very built up city in Milton Keynes, lots of cities and towns, a lot of our space in the UK is actually rural. There's actually lots of fields and landscapes. So most of our land is actually rural, as trees and fields. Whereas when it says urban, that's a word used for when there are houses and factories. Okay, so I'm just going to take you to this website where we're going to look at what's called a national park. They have these in lots of different countries. It's a way where the government and councils, the big top people, they try and preserve the land. They say we mustn't build on this land. It's beautiful, this land. We can't build on it. So there are lots of different, they're called national parks. Can you say that word? National parks. So I wonder if I go on to the national park website, see if you recognise any of them. So you can see why, looking at this little clip here, why we wouldn't want to build on something so beautiful. So they're called national parks, great landscapes, great views. We've got the Brecon Beacons, the Broads. This is in, so that one's in Wales. This one's in England. This is near Norwich, almost near the edge, on east of our country in the Broads. Carney O'Gaunt in Scotland. So I wonder if you've ever been to Scotland. The Lake District. We're going to look a little bit further into the Lake District later on in the term and see why the Lake District is used, because that's used a lot for walking. New Forest, that's a beautiful area where some of you may have gone on little trips away. Loch Lomond, now this is in Scotland, and lots and lots of lakes, it's beautiful. North York Moors, the Peak District, this is another walking place, Northumberland. The Pembrokeshire Coast, this is right on the coastline, so you can visit beaches and cliffs and things like that. The South Downs, the Yorkshire Dales and Snowdonia, which is in Wales. Beautiful, as you can see, just by looking at the pictures, beautiful national parks, beautiful places to go and visit in England. So you don't have to go on an aeroplane to see some beautiful places. But what I'd like you to do today is I want you to choose one of these national parks. Okay, I want you to maybe go on their website, go on that website. You can also go on other websites as well and research them. Okay, see what they're all about. See which one you like the look of. So you might say, I really like the look of, or I might have been to this place maybe before. I really like the look of New Forest. So you can either click on New Forest and make some notes from this website, or just like we normally do, and so there's lots of special qualities that's on this website, and just make some notes about the New Forest. How is that land used in the UK? Or just like we normally would in school, you can research it. So you can go New Forest, and often if I want to make my life easier for you guys, I might put for kids, because then we get really easy facts that we can understand. New Forest facts for kids, and we might want to do a little bit more research about the New Forest and write down some notes. I'm looking forward to seeing some of your facts that you found out about them. So, yeah, well done for listening. Hope you enjoyed our first little geography lesson online. Well done. Good job.